Hello and welcome to the program. I am DEJI360 EPP. Over the past decade, conflicts between farmers and herders in Nigeria have intensified due to a struggle over grazing land and scarce resources. This pastoral system has in the last few years triggered clashes between host communities and herders, resulting in several deaths across various parts of Nigeria. Now, the rising conflict has led to calls from many quarters for the country to end open grazing and embrace ranching as a more sustainable cattle breeding method in order to reduce the tension. So recently, the 17 southern governors of Nigeria met and resolved to ban open grazing of cattle in their states. Truth is, the southern governors are actually not the first to ban open grazing. In Benue State, open grazing has been outlawed, and even in Ekiti State, then governor of the state, Ayo Fayose, back in 2016 also banned open grazing. The State Assembly back then passed a law banning any form of open grazing in that state. Now, that law is still very much in place. I'm not aware it has been repealed. But this recent pronouncement of the southern governors on the issue of open grazing has generated so much controversy and opposition, particularly from the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, who has countered the governors, saying that their action actually violates the rights of Nigerians to free movement and association. The minister said states lack the constitutional rights to implement anti-grazing laws in their domains. But the governors have insisted that their decision is irreversible. Perhaps at some point, the courts will have to intervene to put this matter to rest. But joining me now to discuss this further is Jibrin Okutepa, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria. He joins us via Skype in Asaba, the Delta State capital. Thank you very much for joining us in the program. Let me start by asking you what your take is on the position of the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of this country over the issue of the ban on open grazing.
Thank you, DG. With the greatest respect to the Honorable the Attorney General of the Federation, I think his view with respect missed the point. The constitutional right of movement is not without limitation. Under our laws, no freedom, not even the right to life, is without limitation. One of those limitations under our law is where there is any law that is reasonably justifiable in democratic society in the interest of safety, public health, public order, and public morality. That you can find in our Constitution within Chapter 4 of our Constitution. And so, with respect to the Honorable the Attorney General, I think with respect, and I mean no insult, it seems to have missed the point when he engaged what appeared to have looked like a primordial partisan interest. He is the Attorney General of the Federation. That being the case, the Attorney General of all Nigerians, including the Southern, the Northern, the Eastern, everyone. And so when he speaks, he should speak in a manner that is within the responsibility of that office. So having said that, the banning of open grazing by the Southern governor, for me, that is a political statement. Good as it appears to be, I'm yet to see, apart from Benue that you rightly mentioned in your intro, that has the anti-open grazing law of Benue State. There is no law yet, to my knowledge, within my limited knowledge, that has been passed by the Southern state governors to ban open grazing.
So essentially what southern governors did for you was just a mere political pronouncement. They need to go beyond that.
Yes, the law is sufficiently settled. The law is sufficiently settled upon which there can be no departure. The governmental statement does not have a force of law. And so policy statements are not law. They are political statements that required legislative backing, where you will now say, no, it is a criminal offense to engage in open grazing in any of the southern parts of Nigeria, and it's not going to be under the auspices of southern state governors. Because mark you, Nigeria is a federation. So the Southern State Houses of Assembly need to pass the law. It needs to be assented to by the governor. And then after assent by the governors, then it becomes a criminal offense for open grazing to become a criminal offense in any part of the southern states. But having said that, even if that law is to be made, mark you that these Fulani herdsmen are all Nigerians, except those who are not Nigerians and Nigerian, those who came from outside Nigeria.
Exactly.
And so what is the alternative? Now everyone is talking about ranching.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you that because people, you know, in all of this conversation, even in what the governor said, no alternative was actually discussed.
Yes, and that is why I said what they have engaged themselves in is to engage in political pronouncement devoid of any legal backing. And so they need to do much more than that. And apart from that, these are Nigerians that they engage in a lot of animal husbandry, cattle rearing, and all of that. Has any state government, either federal that is championing ranching, or even Benue State that is championing ranching, has he established any ranching where you now say, okay, you don't go for open grazing. This is ranching. Go to this ranching place. This is how much you pay to feed your cows, to make your cow to be one of the finest and the fittest, reasonably fit for consumption. Has any of these governors done any of those things? The problem I have with us in Nigeria with respect is that we seem to engage in what I refer to as emotional mob justice. So because the real thing now is because there is insecurity all over attributable to cattle breeders or herders. And even these herder issues, we need to be very careful. Because it's assuming a political coloration. It's assuming a political coloration. And let us avoid carrying the hatred we have for a particular group of persons and translate it to everyone that belongs to the Hausa Fulani oligarchy. While I do not support destruction of lives and property, we should also in the same vein chart a middle course. Avoid anything that will create more confusion, more commotion, and more insecurity in the land. So let us avoid a situation where we believe, and some people believe, that a particular tribe in Nigeria is bad. We must do something to make everybody feel a sense of belonging in this country. So, having said that, therefore, I think that both the southern state governors, Nigerian government as a whole, will need to sit down, think out of the box, avoid this political halabaloo, all manner of kind of things we do in the name of partisan politics that is completely anti-nationalism, anti-patriotism, anti-people. Because if we continue this way, very shortly, we may not be able to have a country called Nigeria. If an Igbo man comes to become president, or a Yoruba man, and some Yoruba people are misbehaving, don't attribute it to that all Yorubans are bad. All Igalas are not bad. All thieves are not bad. There are bad elements. Let us segregate criminalities from normal human beings. And then if that is done, and then we deal with it within the ambit of the law, devoid of political shenanigans and political myopism, then Nigeria will be a good place for each and every one of us to pile our trade and do the best we can do to develop the natural resources that are available. But I do not see us do that now. We are dancing in the market.
I can't but agree with you, sir, and God bless you for that position, because that appears to be one thing that is actually missing in all of this controversy. Let me ask you this now. Do you think, you look at the way that meeting of the Southern governors, the way it's panned out, and some of the controversies that have actually flowed from that meeting, don't you think that it probably would have made better sense if the governors as a whole had actually met to discuss and take that position, instead of having southern governors meeting, and that it probably would have made much sense or better sense if the entire governors of the country had met under one umbrella, instead of having southern governors, northern governors, and then the other day we had the PDP governors. They had their own meeting as well. Before you know it, the APC governors would have their own meeting. When you have this kind of, I don't know if faction is actually the right word to use now. Does it help the national cause?
DG, the question I ask is, do we have a national cause? What appears to me to be pervading every strata of our political leadership is these divisive tendencies. And it is not, you are getting that which we are getting simply because there is a kind of mumbo jumbo reward for political offices. Otherwise, if our leaders have gone to the office to serve Nigerians, this kind of segregation, the meeting that tend to divide rather than put us together, should be avoided. We all agree that security of life and property is the responsibility of government. So if that be the case, then Nigerian government must take the lead to secure the life and property of all Nigerians, irrespective of where they come from. But a situation where the northern governor will meet and say, let the Igbo trader leave, or the southern governor meet and say, let the Hausa Fulani leave, that is a song of war that ought not to be sung in a country called Nigeria. And when we say that Nigeria is an indivisible and indissoluble nation, the attitude and character and behavior of our leader must show. But our leader don't seem to believe that Nigeria unity is their central focus. That is why you are seeing these kind of primordial tribal sentiment meetings here and there, sponsored and being organized by people we call our leaders. And it is unfortunate that this is happening. And it is happening because it is a political horse trading, looking for votes, which in any case, you know that in Nigeria, democracy, sovereignty does not belong to the people. So I think that it should be a holistic approach, not southern governor, not south-south governor, not northern governor. It should be a Nigerian affair and find solution to this kind of unfortunate situation we find ourselves in. And this unfortunate situation is caused by our political leaders.
Absolutely. Mr. Jibrin Okutekwa, thank you very much for joining us on the program, and thank you for your thoughts there.
Thank you, DG. God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll get another view on this issue of open grazing. Stay with us.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI360, dissecting the issues.